Hello everybody, back for round 3. I'm up against pyromaniac4290. Not 100% sure what he's on, but last time I've played against him before and he was on Oath, so that's what I'm going to assume he's on now. And this is actually a pretty good hand for Oath. I wish I had green mana, but it does have a Caracas and a Path to Exile, so we're going to keep it. Looks like it's take a little while in the upkeep, so I'm hoping this hand will get a lot better if I draw a green mana source, obviously, because I've got a couple Pride Mages. The main thing I'm actually kind of worried about is if he leads off with Library of Alexandria, because I don't have any way to get rid of that right now. So, Watery Grave. Okay, he is probably not on Oath. That's definitely not an Oath card. Alright. Kind of weird that he paid the life when he didn't play anything that turn, although he might want to brainstorm or something like that during my turn. So we're going to lead with a Deathrite Shaman. See what he does. Not quite sure whether he's thinking about whether to counter this or whether he's having some connection issues. We drew a Tundra, which is not too bad, but it's not great either, because we really would like some green mana. Alright, so he is brainstorming. So the fact that he's brainstorming makes me hopeful that maybe he's going to play a fetch land next turn, which would give us some access to green mana with our Deathrite Shaman. Of course, the downside is he'll be able to fetch 2 cards away that he doesn't want, but, take the good with the bad in this format. Anyway, I'm gonna pause until this brainstorm's finished resolving. Alright, we're back, and he's played Vampiric Tutor on his upkeep. So, we'll see if it... I'll wait a few minutes. Okay. So, he picked something pretty quick, which makes me think he knows what he wants to play. And it could very well be an Oath. Maybe I had him pegged wrong with the Watery Grave. Alright, so he is on Oath. Luckily, we have some ways to deal with that. So, I'm going to play Caracas here. And I'm going to pass the turn. And he's going to be able to Oath. Alright, Emrakul. That's fine. We're just gonna do this right now before he can play a Wasteland. Alright, Divining Top, that's fine. And then we're going to ping him with Deathrite Shaman. So, So I can play Kasali here and get rid of his Oath. So I think that's what I'm going to do. Hopefully he doesn't have a counter for this. Alright, he does. So that's unfortunate, but not much I can do about that. Luckily I have another one in my hand. He is going to be able to Oath again before. Hopefully the fact that he had to use his Force of Will on the Pride Mage will clear the way for my path to exile. Alright. Of course he could be setting up counter backup here. Let's see. Yeah, Bloodsteel. Alright. And that. Alright, luckily we can block with Deathrite. And then only take 9. Oh, he had no... I wonder what happened there. Okay, that's weird. I guess his top trigger was on the stack. I'm not quite sure what happened there. I guess I'll have to watch the video again. If you, the viewers at home, know what happened there, feel free to leave something in the comments. So we're gonna do our usual plan against Oath. Replace the cages with Zenith, Selkie with Edric with Selkie, and Scavenging Ooze with another Trigon. Alright. So we'll pause and we'll come back for game 2. Alright, we're back. This looks like a pretty solid hand. I wish I had a little bit more colored mana, but it has a cage and it has Wastelands. And it has a path to exile. I wish this Trigon was like another card land though, then this hand would be perfect. At the same time though, I don't think we can ship it back, so I'm gonna wait for him to make his mulligan decision. Okay, he has. He's gonna keep. So see what he does. Okay, Divining Top and pass. Alright. Another path to exile. Alright. So I'm gonna fetch out a Tundra and play a Graph Diggers. And see what he does. Spell Pierce. Alright. Okay, he's topping. That's kind of an interesting build. I don't see a lot of Oath decks running Divining Top. Footsies. Alright. Oh, there goes one of our paths. Oh, he took a Trigon. That's kind of surprising, but it's okay with me. Alright, so I got on the land. That's nice. I think I'm going to wasteland him this turn, though, because it's going to be a while before I can play Trigon, and he's only got 2 cards in his hand, so he might be kind of mana screwed. So we'll see. We'll take key. Oh, nice. So we're definitely going to play Pride Mage this next turn, I think. I guess if he plays a land and then, well, no, he'd need an extra mana. So I think we're pretty good here. And so blue, green. Get Trigon out. So I didn't play a land, that's why I played the Trigon. If he had played a land, I probably would have held back so that I could activate Gasoli if I needed to. If he had more mana, he could do the top key combo, which is kind of nifty, where you put the top's ability on the stack, untap it with key, and then do it again. Alright, so strip mine. It's not too big of a deal for us right now. Alright, so we have a bunch of potentially interesting plays. I think I'm gonna attack first. See what he does. So I think the key is a bigger issue right now, so I'm going to get rid of that. And then I think I'm gonna play Knight of the Reliquary over Melee Mage. Oops, I forgot to exit my... Oh, don't want to do that. Alright. So we'll play this guy. Hopefully we could just fetch strip mine and lock him out of the game. Alright, so he's topping. Alright, looks like we managed to take that one down. Still in the running for some prizes, so I'll see you guys in round 4 for the final match. Thanks for watching.